Good afternoon, Musketeers. It's April 7th, 2017. I'm Daniel Stenger.
And I'm Corey Reich. This is Xavier News.
From the Xavier University Television Studio, this is Xavier News. Your campus, your region, your world. This is Xavier News.
Unfortunately, today marks the latest in a series of vehicle-based terror attacks in Europe over recent years. Police launched a manhunt in Sweden's capital Friday for a suspect who rammed a truck into a department store, killing 2 people and injuring many others. We here at Xavier News send our thoughts and prayers to those in Stockholm.
Senate Republicans deployed the much-anticipated nuclear option Thursday in their drive to confirm Judge Neil Gorsuch to the Supreme Court, dramatically changing the way the Senate does business in order to overcome a Democratic filibuster. In a fast-paced chain of events that clears the way for Gorsuch to be confirmed by as soon as Friday evening, majority Republicans changed Senate precedent so that a high court nominee can advance to a final vote with a simple majority of 51 senators as opposed to 60. Majority Leader Mitch McConnell declared he did so to, quote, restore norms, unquote, and get past what he called an unprecedented Democratic filibuster. Minority Leader Chuck Schumer countered that the changes could send the Senate and the nomination process over the cliff.
The United States fired 59 Tomahawk cruise missiles at Syria overnight in response to what it believes was a chemical weapons attack that killed more than 100 people. At least 6 people were killed, Syria claimed, but the Pentagon said civilians were not targeted and the strike was aimed at a military airfield in Homs. All but one of the missiles hit their intended target while the other missile failed. The strike completed a policy reversal for President Donald Trump, who throughout his campaign warned America not only to stay out of conflict in general, but Syria in particular. Russian Foreign Ministry has responded, saying Moscow is suspending a memorandum with the U.S. that prevented incidents and ensured flight safety in the U.S. or in Syria.
A woman who plunged 80 feet while taking a selfie on a Northern California bridge is not likely to face charges for crossing a closed walkway, authorities said. The unidentified woman and a group of friends were walking on the catwalk underneath the 730-foot-tall Forest Hill Bridge in northern Auburn on Tuesday when she tried to pose for a selfie and fell, according to the Placer County Sheriff's Office. She landed on a trail 60 feet below the bridge. The woman was airlifted to a hospital and is expected to survive, sheriff's officials said.
Indian police are reviewing reports of missing children to try to identify a girl who was found living in a forest with a group of monkeys. The girl, believed to be 10 to 12 years old, was unable to speak, was wearing no clothes, and was emaciated when she was discovered in January and taken to a hospital in northern India. She apparently behaved like an animal, running her arms and legs and eating food off the floor with her mouth, said a chief medical superintendent of a government-run hospital. After treatment, she began walking normally and eating with her hands. Police are trying to determine how the girl got into the forest and who her parents are, but in the meantime will be sent to a home for juveniles until she is identified.
Amazon announced Thursday it plans to add 30,000 part-time positions in the U.S. over the next year, part of a massive hiring binge by the online retailing giant. The part-time hiring includes 5,000 jobs in virtual customer service, which would allow employees to work as a customer service agent from home. The remaining 25,000 would be at Amazon warehouses. Any part-time employees who work 20 hours or more a week are also eligible for benefits. The part-time plan is part of a larger hiring spree by Amazon. In January, the company said it would add 100,000 full-time jobs in the U.S. with full benefits over the next 18 months. Most positions will be filled at fulfillment centers and in new fields including cloud technology and machine learning.
Everyone knows about Pepsi, but what about Nivea? Nivea has withdrawn an ad that was branded racist on social media and shared by right-wing groups. The German skincare maker's ad for deodorant included a picture of a woman and the slogan, quote, "White is purity," unquote. It was posted on Nivea's Middle East Facebook page with the caption, quote, "Keep it clean, keep it bright, don't let anything ruin it," unquote. The post sparked a backlash with social media users accusing Nivea of being racist and insensitive.
There has been some amazing work on campus with international and refugee students. Anna Michaels has more with the story.
Madeline Mitchell is an instructor in the intensive English program, working with international students here at Xavier. The program, nearly 50 years old, originally started with the Jesuit University in Columbia. The 4-level program takes 2 years to complete. Students come to Xavier's program to improve their English to a highly proficient academic level.
They really want to get their English, their academic English up. They can write research papers in English, they can give presentations in English and look very professional and fit in at the level of a college student. I work with high, intermediate, and advanced students. We have 4 levels, and it's great to work with them because their English really is so good that we can do lots of creative things. And my goal with them is to get them out of the classroom and have some authentic experiences working with our domestic students, American students here. Everyone's going to benefit. The American students maybe haven't met people from other countries, and there's so many here at Xavier. Let's work on getting them together.
Currently, Mitchell and her students are collaborating with the Communication Arts Interpersonal Skills class. 3 times throughout the semester, the classes meet to have cross-cultural discussions about topics such as relationships and technology. Mitchell also worked with the Center for Diversity and Inclusion to set up an installment of courageous conversations on the topic of refugees after one of her students showed interest in discussion.
Last month there was a topic on refugees that was campus-wide, so my students were able to go and then build on their experience of thinking and talking about it and hear and share with American students from the campus.
Mitchell and her classes have also done service learning at the Academy of World Languages right down the street in Evanston.
There's a large immigrant population at that school, and there also is a large refugee population, and so they recruit volunteers to help in the classroom. And what my students have been able to help with, they sit in the classroom with students who are newly arrived and have limited English proficiency, and so they help translate in real time as the teacher is giving the lesson.
The students in the program represent a wide variety of countries, but Mitchell says that numbers are low this year because of America's current political climate.
We here in our program know that it's vital to have international students. You know, their presence on any university campus adds so much. Globalization is certainly not going away, so we need to keep making connections and understanding people from other countries and cultures.
Reporting for Xavier News, I'm Hannah Michaels.
Thanks for sharing that story, Hannah. It's great to see a glimpse of some of the great work being done here at Xavier.
The first distillery to operate in downtown Cincinnati will open before the end of the month. Northside Distilling, which opened up shop in its eponymous neighborhood in 2014, will host a grand opening for its downtown operation at 922 Ray Street on April 29th. It will maintain its original location in Northside, but that will be geared towards experimental distilling and aging the distillery's bourbon. The downtown distillery, which is housed in a former church-turned-nail salon, will house both the production fermenters and stills, but also a new bar area, which was only recently permitted under Ohio law.
The class might be really hard, or really boring, or just not your thing. Maybe you can't get higher than a D, maybe you missed a bunch of classes, maybe you never even went to the class. Either way, you know what time of year it is, Muskies. Monday, April 10th is the last day to drop classes. No exceptions. So do what's best for you and keep in mind your GPA.
All right, that's all from the news desk, people.
We'll be right back with Paul Frischner and the Xavier Sports.
Good afternoon, Xavier Nation, and welcome into another Friday edition of the Xavier Sports Report. I'm Paul Fritchner, and I'm here to get you caught up on what's been going on around the world of Xavier athletics. The baseball team's been making some noise recently. They're riding a 4-game winning streak, which includes a sweep of Fairleigh Dickinson last weekend. From Friday through Sunday, the team scored 45 runs while nearly hitting 10 homers as a team over the weekend. After that series sweep of the Knights, it was a 1-game matchup against the local Miami Redhawks. Xavier and Miami actually just played 2 Wednesdays ago, and then it was a rematch 1 week later. After being shut out in the first game, the Musketeers got some revenge in round 2. Nate Soria and Joe Gellenbeck both homered, and Xavier won before that huge storm hit Wednesday night. Now it's on to conference play for the Musketeers, and they're actually in Philadelphia right now to begin their conference schedule against the Villanova Wildcats. The Musketeers won both the Big East regular season and tournament champions last year, so they're looking to play up to their potential and repeat in both areas. Elsewhere around the NCAA, you probably already saw that North Carolina edged out Gonzaga for the national championship on Monday night. Xavier fans were split in that classic dilemma of either rooting for the team that beat you to win the whole thing, so that way you know your team didn't lose in vain, or on the flip side, you're rooting for the team that beat you to lose so that they feel the way you did. However you cheered on Monday, North Carolina came away with their 6th title. Finally, you know what time it is. It's time for Fritchner's Friday Fun Fact. Got a baseball one for you since it's opening day this week. Our national anthem was performed for the first time at a sporting event on September 5th, 1918. That was in the middle of the 7th inning of Game 1 of the World Series between the Boston Red Sox and the Chicago Cubs at Comiskey Park. Well, now you know. That'll do it for this week's broadcast of Xavier News. For everyone here in the studio, thank you for listening. No broadcast next week because of Easter, so hopefully you enjoy your time off, and we'll see you when we return. Have a great weekend, everybody. A nice break, and as always, let's go X.